So, you want to know about The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham? Good, because this isn't just a book. It's pretty much the foundational text, the Bible, for some of the most successful investors in history. We're going to dive into the core ideas here, the kind of stuff that could totally change how you think about the market. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Warren Buffett, you've probably heard of him, calls it, and I quote, by far the best book on investing ever written. I mean, come on. He first read it way back in 1950, and he still says it's the #1 guide. That is some serious staying power. Let's be real for a second. The stock market, it can feel like a total casino, right? Just this crazy emotional roller coaster. Prices are soaring one minute, crashing the next. It seems like it's all driven by pure fear and greed. It's so easy to get swept up in that madness and, make some bad moves. But what if there was a way to rise above all that? A philosophy that could give you a real, lasting edge? Well, that's exactly what this book promises. Graham gives you this solid intellectual toolkit to protect yourself from all that chaos and actually put you ahead. All right, so let's get into Graham's wisdom. First off, who was this guy, Benjamin Graham? Well, think about this. Before him, investing was kind of like throwing darts at a board. A lot of guesswork. He's the guy who came along and turned it into a science, a real discipline. And that's why people call him the father of value investing. And his core idea, it's so simple, but it changes everything. He said, stop thinking of stocks as just ticker symbols, these little blinking lights on your screen. A stock is a piece of a real business. You are becoming a part owner in an actual company. Once you really get that, your whole perspective shifts. And that leads us to the first big lesson. And it's a question Graham wants you to ask yourself. Are you an investor or are you a speculator? Seriously, he believed this is maybe the most important distinction you'll ever make. And he was super clear about what he meant. An investment operation has to do 3 things. 1, you do thorough analysis. You've got to do your homework. 2, it promises safety of principal, which means your top priority is not losing your money. And 3, you're looking for an adequate return. Notice he didn't say get rich quick. If your strategy doesn't tick all 3 of those boxes, Graham says you're speculating. End of story. I mean, just look at the difference here. The investor is all about the business's real value. The speculator, they're just betting on which way the price will wiggle. When the market tanks, the investor gets excited. It's like a Black Friday sale, a chance to buy great companies cheap. The speculator, they freak out and sell right along with everyone else. It's basically the difference between having a plan and just reacting to the drama. Okay, so how do you keep your cool when everyone else is losing theirs? This is where Graham gets really clever. He created this amazing little story, a character he called Mr. Market, to help you master your emotions. Imagine you have a business partner. We'll call him Mr. Market. Now this guy, he's a bit nuts. He's totally manic depressive. Every single day, he shows up and names a price. He'll either offer to buy your stake in the business or sell you his. Some days, he's just euphoric, right? He's convinced the business is going to the moon, and he'll offer you some crazy high price for your shares, way more than they're actually worth. A speculator would get swept up in that hype, but you, the intelligent investor, you're thinking, maybe it's time to sell. But then, on other days, oh boy, he's in a full-blown panic. He's sure the world is ending, and he'll offer to sell you his shares for pennies on the dollar, just because he's so scared. The speculator is right there with him, selling everything. But you see a bargain. And this is the whole point of the story. Mr. Market is there to serve you, not the other way around. You don't have to listen to him. You can just ignore his crazy offers. His mood is your opportunity. You use his irrationality. You buy from him when he's terrified, and you sell to him when he's greedy. You are in charge. Okay, this leads us to what might be the single most important idea in the entire book. Graham called it the central concept of investment. It's just 3 little words, margin of safety. And this right here is your secret weapon for not losing your shirt. So what is it? It's pretty simple. It's the gap between what a business is truly worth, its intrinsic value, and the price you actually pay for it. Think of it like a buffer that protects you if your analysis is a bit off, or if the business just hits a rough patch. Because let's face it, things go wrong. Let's put some numbers on it. Let's say you do your homework and figure out a company's stock is really worth $100 a share. You don't buy it at 95. Nope. You wait for Mr. Market to have one of his bad days and offer it to you for, say, 60. That $40 gap? That is your margin of safety. And this is why it's so brilliant. It means you don't have to be perfect. Your predictions don't have to be flawless. The future is always going to be uncertain. But with a big enough margin of safety, you build in a buffer for error. It's your ultimate protection against a future you can't possibly predict. So, we've talked about the logic, the frameworks, Mr. Market, margin of safety, all crucial stuff. But Graham saved his most profound lesson for last. It's about the single biggest threat to your success, the one person who can torpedo this whole strategy. And who is it? It's you. Graham's quote is legendary. The investor's chief problem and even his worst enemy is likely to be himself. How wild is that? After all this math and analysis, he says the biggest danger isn't the market or the economy. It's your own brain, your emotions, your impatience, your need to follow the herd. And that really gets to the heart of it. Being a great investor isn't about being a genius. I mean, Sir Isaac Newton, literally one of the smartest people who ever lived, lost a fortune speculating in the market. It's not about IQ. It's about your character. It's about having the patience, the discipline, the emotional control to just stick to your plan, even when Mr. Market is yelling and screaming and trying to make you panic. So, in the end, that's what Graham's philosophy is all about. It puts everything back on you, the power and the responsibility. The market is always going to be there, offering up both incredible opportunities and total nonsense. But it's your behavior, your discipline, and your own choices that will decide your results. So the final question is really simple. Are you in control?